Hey everyone, welcome to the Patreon episode. Real quick before we start here, yet again, it seems like it happens every week. We had some technical difficulties while recording. This time it was my fault. It was on my end. My router shut down on me, or my modem or whatever, so I had to restart it. So hopefully there's not a bunch of choppiness and a bunch of random parts that are not mixed. Hopefully everything is synced well, but I can't make any promises right now. It feels like every time we figure one thing out, something else happens, but hopefully it didn't cause too much trouble. But what it did cause is at the end, we got kicked off of our recording session, so we had to do the last question a little bit differently. So at the end of the episode, you'll hear us cut away, and then I'll let you guys know what the question is and what our answers are. I had Kreger and Cam and myself give some answers, so we'll put those in at the end, and that'll be what we're doing. So here's the episode. Heidi ho, good patrons.
Howdy ho.
Yeah, we're Eric Matthews.
Yeah, seriously,
I was about to
though.
say this is the first episode where that intro is
It's
fitting.
kind of relevant. Yeah, because we're covering, as you saw on the title, the Boy Meets World Halloween episode, which is actually not a true statement, because this episode actually came out February 27th, 1998.
Oh, so it's like a post Valentine's Day or pre St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah,
episode?
it's right in the middle there. They needed something. So I don't get why. We all know this is the Halloween episode, because growing up, this always played during Halloween for us. Because I don't know about you guys, but I didn't watch Boy Meets World live. I just watched it on the Disney Channel.
An episode that came out?
What'd you say?
Do they have an episode that came out during Halloween?
Probably, but I don't know. Maybe this was like one of those shows that ran like January to June or something, so it wasn't ever near Halloween.
Could be.
Yeah, so I don't know. But this was season 5, episode 17. It's an episode called "And Then There Was Sean," which is
And then there was Sean.
yeah, it's a reference to Agatha Christie, I think. And then there was None, the book about the 10 people that went to that island, and then they started slowly dying off, and you're trying to figure out who did it. That was one of my favorite books in high school, actually. I really enjoyed that one. So it's kind of fun that they did that here. Guys, we rewatched this. When was the last time you watched Boy Meets World?
When I was like 7 or 8 years old.
So not
Well,
recently.
as I said, and as I said on the podcast, like during the quarantine, I rewatched the entire Boy Meets World within the last 6 months. So
I gotta say, those first like 3 seasons are pretty rough to get through, but everything after that's pretty good.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
Little bit.
little too kid oriented. It's like what Girl Meets World is for the whole time. It's like the first 3 episodes.
But they were little kids.
They were little kids. I get that. Yeah, so that's why it didn't pass. But I mean, like
No adult's
this
supposed
isn't-
to watch it and be like, yeah, let's watch these little kids.
but this-
like, no one
this
does
is-
that.
This isn't Little Kid Meets World. It's Boy Meets World.
One of the older episodes I still really like is when Eric doesn't have a job, and he's like eating that giant bowl of cereal all day on the couch, and he's like in high school or whatever, and they're just like singing the Secret Agent Man song and stuff. It's great.
When a crime breaks out, all the cute girls shout, get the good-looking guy.
I still love that episode.
Oh, man.
But anyway, the Boy Meets World, if you don't know, it's a television show from the 90s that was on the TGIF. Thank God It's Friday block of ABC.
Yeah.
That was a big deal back in the day. I think Saved by the Bell was on there, and other shows that were relevant at the time. Do you guys remember anything else that was on during that time? I don't remember what the other 2 shows were during that block.
Oh, yeah, My Cousin Tim.
No.
God bless America. Why is that coming back? Oh,
Cam,
man.
did you send that in our group text like a few weeks ago again?
Yeah, I don't want you guys to ever forget.
We didn't even. I don't think anyone responded to it. I think you sent it, and we all just ignored it.
I think text happened, so I didn't even. When you guys just said that right now, I'm like, I have no recollection of that at all.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Why do I sound like Seth Rogen today?
I don't know.
So
Okay, that was spot on, Jordan.
yeah, sure, right? Okay, so
Chef's kiss.
it's funny this episode didn't come out around Halloween time, but I think it's because it's not supposed to be a Halloween episode. It's supposed to be a spoof on slasher films. So it kind of makes more sense in that relevance because it fits in with the timeline of what's going on. Because if you know anything about Boy Meets World, Corey and Topanga pretty much date and then get married throughout the whole series, except for little pockets here and there. And this was one of those little pockets where what's going on, Cam?
They date and get married throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
They're constantly divorcing and getting remarried.
Well, it's like How I Met Your Mother, where one whole season is just the 3-day weekend of a wedding. So, the whole season is just them getting married. But this was like the little pocket of where they broke up. So this episode kind of fit in perfectly with the storyline, and they probably just couldn't fit it in timeline-wise.
I 100% forgot that. Well, no one ever forgets how much you loved Topanga. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. Everyone knows that for the rest of your life that you love Topanga. I forgot how attracted I was to Sean Hunter.
Well, I don't think Krager and I have those same feelings.
Cannot say the same.
Those lips, dude. Danger.
So what do you think
zone.
of Cabin Fever? Because literally the only other thing I know him from is Cabin Fever.
Yeah. Yes.
Just yes, all around. Yes.
And
I have a thing for like the skinny heroin boy look, like that, like where they have like sunk, like a little bit sunken in eyes, and they're like kind of gaunt, and like they probably have tattoos, like Anthony from Queer Eye.
Oh,
my danger!
I love that guy. He's great. Although now
Yeah.
he's looking a little bit more like in shape and a little bit more.
Oh, he's getting
Yeah,
jacked.
yeah.
But like season 1.
Season 1, little skinny boy. Season, what are we on? 4
Yeah, wearing
or
like
5
a
now?
wearing like a Smith's shirt.
Yeah, what's this guy now?
And like jeans, and I was like,
now he's
oh.
so cool. He doesn't wear any branding. It's either just white shirts or it says something like fudge, like just something random.
Yeah. Yeah.
what?
Crab salad.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, we've all been there.
Oh, man. So what's funny is I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio was very much that back in the 90s, like for Growing Pains and stuff. He was that like little boy on heroin look for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he was in
Little
Basketball
boy
Diaries.
on heroin look.
Yeah, boy meets heroin.
Good luck. When boy meets heroin.
So let's talk about who directed this film. A guy named Jeff McCracken. Now that is a cool last name.
Is it Burt McCracken's brother?
No, actually that would be really cool if it was Burt McCracken's brother.
Yeah.
But it's not. This guy's like
Who's Burt McCracken?
the Used.
The lead singer of The Used.
Yeah, the lead singer of the
I
Used, man.
should know that. I feel really dumb right now.
Yeah, come on. Would you grow up in the 2000s? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So this
Were you an emo kid, Krager?
when he had
No, my
hair.
parents loved me.
My-
Wow.
So
Which is funny because I'm like both your parents probably love you guys. Well, no, like never mind. This is going off the rails. All of our parents love us equally.
What about my parents probably loving
just
me?
maybe. I don't know.
I said probably loving you more because you both are probably closer. You guys are both closer with your parents than I am with mine.
Oh yeah, and we have
But
hair.
Yes,
that's
the-
just because my parents, they were kind of a little bit too big of fans of the Offspring, so gotta keep it separated.
Hey.
Oh, I thought they were pretty fly for a white guy. So Jeff McCracken, he directed this episode. He also directed 51 other episodes of Boy Meets World. So this guy was in the lexicon of Boy Meets World. He
51 Shades of Boy Meets World.
51 Shades of Boy Meets World. Yes.
You could say that the producers released the McCracken
They did release the McCracken.
on the red.
The other show this guy directed a bunch of was Dinosaurs, which I
sick.
want to go back and watch that for the podcast.
Jordan, do you remember how that series
Yeah, it was
ended?
depressing and sad and morbid.
Wasn't it like the meteor?
Yeah, coming to kill them all, and they all just stood outside and looked at it.
Well, the very last scene is the Ice Age happening, and they're all cold, and
Yeah.
the news people are like, well, we're going to sign off now. We don't know how long this is lasting. And they're like, I think we'll make it through this. And then that's the end of it. And we all know the
they
dinosaurs
die.
didn't make
Well-
it.
Well, what's going to happen to us?
Well, I don't exactly know. Yeah, and hey, I'm sure it'll all work out okay. After all, dinosaurs have been on this earth for 150 million years. And it's not like we're going to just disappear.
And taking a look at the long-range forecast, continued snow, darkness, and extreme cold. This is Howard Handupme. Good night.
Well, speaking of asteroids, and this is Patreon, so I can just do whatever I want. Did you guys know that NASA straight up Armageddoned and like no one's talking about it?
Wait, what do you mean?
How they landed a little like shuttle, like unmanned shuttle on an asteroid for 6 seconds and took back off.
Hey, you call me when 6 engineer oil workers go up with a giant bomb onto an asteroid, and then I'll care.
How
Because
is
when
this
you
not,
said that
no,
they Armageddoned it, I was like, did they blow it up?
That's what I thought.
no, but like, how am I the only
Yeah,
one who's
it's
like
crazy.
jazzed like this? I mean, I'm wearing a NASA hat, but like, when I heard that, I lost my shit. Like,
Well, I think it's
Well, if that makes you
again?
excited, did you hear that they found water on the moon?
I heard that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
it's because we're all too busy talking about the windmills killing the birds.
oh my god.
Hey, all Patreons, just in case you didn't know, windmills killed all the birds. They kill all the
My favorite
birds.
thing, Cam, is that you were doing it on your story. Everything was windmills kill the birds, and then you got to the end of like the story where it said like choose your dream job. And you're like bird killer.
Because I didn't watch the debate, so I like messaged him like, dude, are you okay?
So, Krager, you weren't the only one. So many people are like, are you losing
Yeah.
it? Are you all right?
That was so.
And then I
funny.
would respond and be like, yeah, I'm just upset about, all this stuff. And they're like, well, are you going crazy? And I was like, no, did you watch the damn debate?
I don't think anyone's watching it. I think we all just kind of know it's a little bit of a crazy situation right now.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it. It was kind of just masochistic because all it did was just make me angry. And
See,
But I loved-
I talked to you about this. Like, you can't let that affect you, otherwise you'll be
But see,
miserable.
but
And
for me
you-
too,
you-
that's impossible because you read my
I understand.
response.
I did, and I didn't have the strength to respond because that was too much reading.
But anyway,
I wrote him
I
an
was like,
essay.
Mr.
I was like, I'm gonna see him in like a week. I'll just bring it up like, hey, I'll say it in person. This is easier.
You know who would be upset that you don't like reading is Mr. Feeney, and we should be talking about Boy Meets World because a guy named William Daniels played Mr. Feeney. Did you know he was the voice of Kit on Knight Rider?
I did know
That's
that.
something
Yes, I did
that
know
went over my head to know. I knew he was in Saint Elsewhere, and I knew that he was in The Graduate.
You know that he also invented those the cheesy
Bifocals.
crackers that have the peanut butter in the middle.
No, he didn't.
No.
Yeah. Why would he? Anyway, Ben Savage plays Corey, which literally Ben Savage's only claim to fame is playing Corey in both this and Girl Meets World. Like, he has nothing else, unless you want to say like he's
He can live off that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. We have Will Friedle who plays Eric, which I think is probably my favorite character and also favorite
my
actor
spirit
on the
animal.
show. Yeah, this
funny.
guy's funny.
I love him so much.
He does so much voice work. Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond. He was Ron Stoppable in Kim Possible. Tons of superhero stuff. He's Bumblebee in the new Transformers things. He's also in My Date with the President's Daughter.
But he got to make out with Feffy.
He did. Did you know they were dating at the time? Him and Jennifer Love Hewitt?
I did know that.
Yeah.
I love him even more now
Yeah,
because
they were
I've
dating.
Jennifer Love Pfefferman?
Yeah,
To
Pfefferman.
this day, Jennifer Love Hewitt is still in my top 5. Like, she's ageless.
Would you say that she's in your party of 5?
Yeah, sure.
So we also have Ryder Strong, who played Sean and also starred in Cam's Dreams as a child.
Yeah. Also, Ryder Strong. What a name.
Right? That's the best name
That's-
ever.
I mean, first time in my life, no pun intended, but that is a strong name.
So, yes, Ryder Strong also, like, if they used a Y for his name, he would have been a douche. But the fact that they use an I for Ryder means that he's a good guy. Did you know he was in an episode of Home
Can I
Improvement?
make a confession?
Make a confession.
In high school, I definitely was like, oh, yeah, if I have a son, I'm going to name him Ryder with a Y. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Well, good thing you didn't have a son in high school.
In my defense, I dated a couple girls who were like really into like dirt biking and stuff like that. So kind of like just, it was high school, guys.
Ryder Craig. Don't do Ryder Craig.
Ryder Craig. Yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah, no.
Oh man,
This guy gets away with it
No.
because Strong.
like
That's
I said, that was over a decade ago, guys.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is the hair made you dumb. All right, so Danielle Fishel plays Topanga
Wait, Jordan, when does this episode come out?
Friday.
This Friday?
This
or
Friday.
Friday. Okay, 5 days from when this comes out, I turned 31.
Ooh. Dang. Yeah. Ooh. You know who else turned 31 at some point? Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga. So Matthew Topanga Frank. So Matthew Lawrence plays Jack. He's the middle kid in Mrs. Doubtfire. You guys remember the TV show Brotherly Love with all the Lawrence brothers?
Yeah.
That was a show. And then he was also in The Hot Chick with that guy from Adam Sandler movies.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, Rob Schneider.
Yeah, Rob
Yeah,
Schneider.
what did he say?
Did we both
Rob
almost
Schneider,
call him
you
Deuce
can't-
Bigelow, Craig?
I almost called him Deuce Bigelow.
I was going to call him Deuce Bigelow
What was
also.
his saying in all the Adam Sandler movies? Like, it wasn't "Hey, you guys." It was what you doing? He had a tagline.
No, he never said the
in
same.
every
No, he didn't. He had dumb roles in every movie. That's all.
Yeah, dumb roles. He didn't have like the same catchphrase.
No,
it wasn't
he
a runner.
totally did. Rob Schneider.
No, you just know. Are you thinking of "You Can Do
Yeah.
It"?
Yeah, that only happened in 2 movies.
Okay, Rob
movies.
Schneider
Out of the-
catchphrase. I Google Rob Schneider catchphrase. You can do it. Pops up.
because it's from one of the most popular ones. Is from Happy Gilmore. You can Waterboy. Ooh, I almost
From
made a
Waterboy.
big faux pas. Oof.
Bobby Boucher would be pissed at you. We have Tina McGee, who played Angela, and I mentioned her on here for Joe, pretty much, and Joe's not here. It's because she's in a movie called Friday After Next, and I know Joe likes the movie Friday. I was wondering if he watched Friday After Next, but
I'm sure Joe. has.
totally.
That sounds like a movie Joe
totally.
would like. Yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt has a cameo as Jennifer Love Pfefferman.
Oh
or
my
Pfeffy.
gosh.
Do you guys know that she was in a movie called Zootopia? Yeah, Zootopia.
Were there lots of bagels?
I don't know. Didn't look up. I just like the name.
How did that get made?
She produced it too.
That's how it got made.
So Kenny is played by a guy named Richard Lee Jackson. He was in Saved by the Bell, the new class.
He
Was
seemed
he
like a dick.
also a lightning thief?
No, he was not.
Do you get my joke? Jordan?
Lightning Jack. No, I don't. I recognize like what you're going for, but I don't know what it's in reference to. So
There's
explain.
Percy Jackson, the lightning thief,
Oh my god.
and the lightning thief.
Anyway, IMDb says a guy named Joe Turkel
Today.
is the janitor, and you may recognize the name Joe Turkel from The Shining because he plays Lloyd. However, there was an interview done with Jeff McCracken in October 2016, and he said that's a false rumor. Even though it says on IMDb it's Joe Turkel, it's not true. They didn't get Joe Turkel; it's just some rando guy they got.
That guy's creepy.
Yeah, he looks like the dude who played Lloyd in The Shining for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk about this movie here. The group gets put in detention.
Oh, we watched a movie.
I mean the episode. Whatever.
To be fair, both of you have each called it a movie, and I've tried to not be a dick about it. So
If anyone's learned anything about
I'm just
this,
trying to be funny.
well, if
Oh,
anyone's
man.
learned anything about this podcast, especially with the Hocus Pocus episode, you can be a dick all you want. So,
Oh man, you put me in my place.
yeah, I was upset about it. I will say, Robbie kind of agrees with me about Hocus Pocus because he messaged me and he's like, "Man, there's
Robbie hates everything.
No, he loves everything good." Robbie was like, "Man, there's some hate going on in the podcast today."
why is Robbie the one that gets credit for liking things that are good, but I'm constantly shat upon?
Shut up,
The
there, booger
anagrams of
lips.
Cam.
Anyway,
Oh, man.
okay, so this episode, the group gets put in detention, and Corey and Topanga are broken up. In detention, the door is locked.
Topanga.
Now, they go and they pull on the door, and it's locked. Why didn't they try the other door? There was a second door in that room at the front of the classroom.
Or unlock the deadbolt that
Yeah,
was there?
I don't. It was like super weird and stupid that they didn't try that. But anyway, Jack and Eric show up, and we have the Heidi Ho, and then also later we have They Killed Kenny. So South Park references. I was wondering why they did South Park references because this is supposed to be a spoof on like horror
Well,
stuff.
what time did this episode? What year did this episode come out?
98. So
When did
South Park was huge?
Yeah, so I think that was probably just it because it was a pop culture reference also, you know, in relation to everything else. And I remember when we were in 98, so Jordan and I, we were 9. Like, even though most of us had never even seen an episode of South Park, we would still say that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just
Oh,
popular.
100%.
Yeah.
But what's weird to me is I thought there would be some type of connection because it just feels displaced in this episode. But
Oh,
yeah,
for
and I was
sure.
like, did Will Friedle voice like a South Park character in like a video game or something, or just something? But no, there was no connection.
No, that's just what. It just was a pop culture reference that fell
Yeah.
flat.
So whoever the writer was, Daniel Page.
So basically, this show.
Yeah, pretty much. Daniel Page was one of the writers on this. I forgot to mention him. He also wrote on Hemlock Grove, if you're a fan of that Netflix show.
Oh, I tried to watch it and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it myself. I didn't give it much of a fair shot, though. What's going on with your microphone?
I don't know. It fell off. It fell all the way off where I had
Your
it.
microphone comedically was sinking out of frame.
I have it attached to my cat tree.
Oh, I
over
thought you had it attached to your cat. He just
It's like
Ellen
still
just
for a
runs
long
off.
time.
All right. So anyway, they think Feeney is doing all these creepy things, but and then Kenny gets killed with a giant pencil through the head, but they'll always know he's
Which is
that tall.
actually hilarious.
Yeah, and like
Very hilarious.
It's funny because it was like a horror moment,
my
but then when
favorite-
he drops out of the screen and you see like the pencil mark, it was
The
so
lead.
funny.
But the best part is, we'll always know how tall he
You
was.
always know he was that tall.
Yes.
And then they find Feeney out in the hallway, and Feeney's killed with some scissors, and they do a bunch of Scooby-Doo running around with a shrouded figure.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
excellent.
great
And then
reference there.
the best line of the entire show is said
Which is
when they're like, oh, virgins die, and they're like, I'm dead, and then Sean's like, well, I'll get as sick as you can get without actually dying.
that was funny.
Yes,
that was funny.
such
That's
a good joke.
really
That's
funny.
a great joke.
Well, is any one of us safe?
Yeah, virgins. Virgins never die. All right. Thanks for saving me.
I'm dead.
I'm dead. Well, I'll get as sick as you can get without actually dying.
Oh man.
There's a bunch of heavy spoofs on Scream, and it's very like that meta feel, just like Scream is.
Yes.
It even quotes when they pick up the telephone, "Do you like scary movies?" And it's right out of Scream.
yeah.
Also, we have a weird singing moment.
yeah,
with
the one with the
W-
hottie hot hottie.
Well, we have a weird singing moment with the WB Frog. He was like, "Here we go, there you die, everybody have a high." You're gonna die in school.
Yeah. Also, I loved that part was crazy. I loved the book deaths.
Oh my god!
Just because it was like 4 books.
Yeah, 2 people die from from a few books falling off of the top of a bookshelf and hitting them. It's so dumb. Anyway, I love too when they leave Eric in the hallway and Eric is like, "I'm not the oldest, but I've lived the longest," and they all are like, "What?" So good. So Jennifer Love Hewitt shows up and she plays Feffy. Feffy and Eric get killed by the books, like we talk about. They make it's okay. So this would never fly in TV now. Jack makes a joke about suicide from depression. Like he's like, "Oh no, my roommate's dead. I have no reason to live if he can't cover the rent," and like goes out to kill himself. And then Angela's like, "No, don't kill yourself. You still have someone else to cover the rent." But then they get pushed off the ledge. I'm like, that's pretty.
Pretty ballsy.
Well, not even ballsy. I'm like, that's pretty. Thank you.
Insensitive
That's the
and
word I'm looking for.
yeah.
Insensitive. But I guess in '98, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. The killer.
I mean,
we
we're in
find out.
2020, and that still didn't even register to me. So
Oh, well,
insensitive, I guess.
Krager is very insensitive. The killer ends up being Sean. Ooh, and he did it because he wants to get Corey and Topanga back together. We find out though it's a dream, which is like the cardinal sin of any TV show or movie, is it never should
That
be
made
a
me
dream.
so I remembered small parts of this episode. Like I specifically remembered like the skeleton running in the foreground. Like when they're like, it happens behind us, and they turn around, and then it goes like,
And it's in the
like
foreground,
across. And I remembered that, and I remembered that's it. So and I was like, this is actually a really good episode. And I typically don't like sitcoms, right? You guys know I don't like sitcoms that much, especially ones with laugh tracks. And I was like invested. I was like, this is funny. I was like, this is good. And then he woke up from his dream, and I just went, God damn it. I said that at work while everyone else was working in my cubicle, and apparently that's even worse than saying fuck in the South.
Oh.
So everyone glared at me.
Apparently
but
not
yeah.
in my part of the South. They say it all the time.
Oh, yeah, you're in Macon, dude. Like, you're in the part where they're like, oh, God damn it, gonna come on. Everyone's Boomhauer where you are.
So the one
I have
thing,
met a few.
The one thing that kind of saved it though for me was that he woke up and it was like a dream. But then when they all leave the classroom, the shrouded figure shows up. So maybe it's not a dream. It's like a Freddy Krueger type thing. So I mean, they kind of tried to save it with that whole aspect of it, but still didn't land. I like how in Feeney's dream at the end, Stinger, him outsmarting Topanga is like this huge accomplishment, which is kind of funny.
Yes.
But
he's basically living every teacher's
Yes.
dream in that
Yes,
dream.
exactly.
Like, it's everyone
Well,
knows
the one-
everything, and the smart kid that never shuts up gets stumped.
Well, I will say the one thing that I noticed when I rewatched it a little while back is how Topanga is like this very smart and awkward kind of person for the first couple seasons, and they totally just diverge from that and don't really play off her awkward or smartness ever really again.
yeah, like she's raised by hippies until it doesn't further the plot anymore. Then the whole hippie aspect.
And then she just becomes
Exactly.
a sex symbol.
Then-
That's it.
There you go.
Topanga.
Topanga underpants. So, Ryder Strong and Ben Savage have both made appearances on Party of Five, which Jennifer Love Hewitt was on, as well as Neve Campbell,
Got to
Neve
look that
Campbell,
up.
who was
Nev.
who was on Scream. So it's kind of a cool connection there. All these things are like interconnected. Jennifer Love Hewitt already said they were dating. So they filmed this episode like a movie. They filmed the scenes out of order, which they typically don't do for like in front of studio audience sitcom.
Maybe that's why I liked
Yes.
this episode.
So they filmed it out of order
because I hate 3-camera formats. So this is probably a single cam format. Out
It
of
was
order.
because typically it's actually this show did a 4-camera format actually, which is kind of weird that they added a 4th camera for some reason. But
Yeah, for no
they
reason.
did a lot of handheld shots this time, filmed out of order, and they only had a handful of scenes that were done in front of the audience. The rest of it was not done in front of the audience. So this was a whole new experience of filming for Boy Meets World. Only episode they ever did it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense why I like this episode.
Yeah, I agree. So this is like the episode I feel like that anyone who watched Boy Meets World, it's like up there of like top 3 episodes of the whole series. So
It was really
it's a
good.
fun episode to watch. I would definitely watch this every year at Halloween time. It's great. But speaking of Halloween, we have 2 Patreon questions that we got to get to because they're Halloween themed, so that we
nice.
can get those out of the way. Because next week when we do a round table, Halloween will be in the past. It'll be eating our dust booger lips. So we can't think about it anymore. So
Keep saying
Breaker,
booger lips.
It's my favorite.
Well, please don't
So
keep saying
Breaker-
booger lips.
Breaker from Breaker and Bane's Power Hour had a question for us. He says, "What is your favorite Halloween/horror guilty pleasure movie or TV show?"
Ooh, that's a great question.
So
Jordan,
a
do you
horror
have yours
guilty
while
pleasure.
we think about it?
Do I have what?
Do you have one while Krager and I think
I
about it?
do. It was hard for me to think of one that was like a guilty pleasure because like some are so bad.
the
they're
question is-
good.
So the question is, what is our favorite guilty pleasure horror type of Halloween thing going on?
Yeah, like Halloween one that you love, but you would be embarrassed to kind of say you love. The first one that popped up in my mind was more of a recent one that I watched this year was Sorority Row because I really liked that movie, but I feel like it was it wasn't a great movie when you look at it objectively, but I had so much fun during it that I thought it was great. But that's never like one I would recommend to people if they're like, hey, tell me the 5 best horror/Halloween movies. You know, you'd be saying like The Shining and other movies like The Shining.
The Shining,
Shining
2.
2, Doctor Sleep. No. So that's mine. That's the only one I could think of. I was having a hard time with this one because I mean, there's like Ernest Scared Stupid, which I know is Breaker's answer for
So
sure.
that's my Halloween guilty
Hold on.
pleasure for sure.
Which of
Because
the two
I-
was on? Go ahead, Cam. Sorry.
I love Ernest Scared Stupid for one reason and one reason only. I got really high for like the 3rd time in my life with my friends in high school. And it was on TV, and we were just sitting at my friend Ben's house with his cat Chewy, and we were just petting Chewie and having a good time, and we were just talking, but we all paused at the same time right when Ernest runs over the troll and goes, "Ain't bumper booger lips," and we lost it. Like, it was like the funniest thing, and forever, that movie, that's the only Ernest movie that I can watch and not be mad at. What about you, Baker?
I've never been like a huge like horror person, so like there are no really like Halloween horror anything theme that's like sticking out to me. Like, I don't know, like the Scream movies, like the Scary Movie franchises, some of them are funny,
Some of them are not.
I don't know, I mean,
I would put that in a guilty
what's the one
pleasure
with
category.
Joaquin Phoenix? Is that Signs?
Yes, that's Signs.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good movie.
I don't know. I rewatched it recently, and it's so slow. That's the problem. Like,
I watched Signs for the first time at my friend Daniel's house, and he tricked me that snacks, that he's called them pizza snacks, were actually dog treats.
oh, interesting.
I ate
Yeah,
like
see,
30 dog
also,
treats.
The only real thing. Oh my god! But also, like, I guess I'm remembering Signs more fondly just from the scene with Joaquin Phoenix and the two kids and the aluminum foil on their heads, sitting at the couch
Yeah.
watching TV.
Definitely an iconic scene.
Also,
all right.
which one of Breaker and Bane was on the Elite Eight Showdown?
Both of them were recently. They each had their own episode. Breaker was first, Bane
And
was
you're
second.
Choppy and I. Oh, so they were both on it. Okay.
And what?
Well, you guys both suck because
Yeah.
the show's way better when Tim is on. So, yeah.
Wow.
Didn't even listen.
Someone's trying to.
Didn't even listen.
Craiger, what's on your nose?
Yeah.
Let's look,
Throwing
there's something
shade.
brown on your nose. That's
Throwing
weird.
shade.
So
No,
Cole
I mean-
asked us a question too.
Oh, Cole. I know him.
Yeah, he said, since we all have to wear masks
Hi.
because of COVID, what's your favorite Halloween mask that you've seen or worn in your life? All right, so here's where the episode got cut out from the modem. So the question that Cole had for us is that since we all have to wear masks because of COVID, what's your favorite Halloween mask that you've seen or worn in your life? Now, I had a hard time kind of thinking of this. My favorite ones, from when I was a kid were like the Power Rangers or the Mortal Kombat masks and all that. But if we're talking about COVID masks, I think the funniest one I saw is, you may not remember because it seems like so long ago now, back at the beginning of quarantine, but Tiger King was all the rage back then, and I saw someone with a John Finlay mask. Now, if you don't remember who John Finlay was, he was one of the boyfriends of Joe Exotic who had the really jacked up teeth, and it was just so funny to see his mask that someone was wearing with the smile there. So I always thought that was a pretty funny one that could be used for Halloween as well as keeping you safe from COVID secret number 19. But I had Cam and Craiger send me their answers as well, so I'm going to put those in right here, right now.
Hey, what's up, patrons? And especially Colfen from Colfen Enterprises. My favorite mask that I wore, I think, for Halloween was this alien mask, like a traditional, like, just the alien with like the big buggy eyes and like, but it was like flesh colored, and it had like big bulging veins all in it, and it would glow in the dark. So I had that thing. Also, Cole, you might remember that. I think I had that hanging up still when you first met me when we were in junior college. But I don't know. I used to like hang it on my wall year round because I thought it was so cool. Anyway, I wore that, and I think I had that like when I was 13. And I wore like a purple alien costume with like a hood and like some like metallic stuff all over it. But the reason I love this mask so much is not just because like it was a great Halloween mask, but I had my cousin Dylan, who is, I think he's like 20 now, so he's 10 years younger than me. So like when I was like 14, he was 4. And he came into my bedroom at like a family gathering and like saw the alien and like freaked him out, and he didn't like it. And my dad pulled me aside and goes, "Hey, you should like put on that alien mask and come out and scare Dylan." And I was like, "Oh yeah, Dad, that sounds cool," because I was 14 and didn't understand what trauma was. And so I put on the mask and I slowly walked out into the living room where the baby was. and he screamed so loud and was so scared and hid behind his mom that I swore I'd never scare a child again, because that was like the most horrific, terrifying sound. And like, I love children and I love kids and I don't want to ever like be a bad dad. So like, I didn't want to do that. But that mask is my favorite, strictly because glowed in the dark, scared a 4-year-old, and it was fleshy and veiny like everything else I like. All right, bye.
Hello there, patrons for the Wreck My Podcast. This is Krager coming to you live from Macon, Georgia, where I've not assimilated, not even a little bit. Go Bulldogs. So this is answering Cole Finn from Cole Finn Enterprises Incorporated and Associates .org. He asked us what our favorite Halloween mask was, we ever wore or we ever seen. And I have to say, from childhood, I did love Chewie from Star Wars, you know, and all that goodness. But he's just the best. He's everyone loves him. He's cuddly. He's sweet. It's fun to walk around like a little bear, little dog bear, all that fun stuff. But now that I'm making Georgia, I have to say, probably my favorite mask is George W. The best president this fine U.S. of A. country has ever seen. Yeah, either that or Bill Clinton, surprisingly, you know. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But yeah, so, I don't know, never really had, but on a serious note, sorry, I never really had any other cool mask besides Chewie. Like, I just always loved Star Wars, loved Chewie. It was just fun, you know. And yeah, who doesn't love dressing up as Chewie, roaming around with all the fur and whatnot? Like, I don't know, just always been fun, good times. Yeah, so have a good Patreon-esque day, and shout out to Cole. Thanks for the support and the question, and I will be at your house in 48 hours. So yeah. See you then. Bye.
Well, I'm going to assume those are funny because I didn't get to hear them before I recorded this disclaimer, but you know, we're all pretty funny guys. So that's the end of the episode. Thank you for checking out this Patreon episode. We did the special Boy Meets World Patreon. It was a lot of fun for us to get to check out that episode, the Halloween episode. We're really happy about that, and we're going to be doing an Around a Roundtable next week, and hopefully we'll have no tech issues. I would bet money that we probably will, though, so if someone's got a pool going, then you're getting some insider information there. But anyway, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you all next week.
I'm glad I didn't lease because I had to drive cross country.
That's true.
And that would be all of my mileage.
Although we drove cross country, or not cross country, but like from California to Texas twice now, and we're still under.
That's pretty much,
yeah. But you guys don't do anything. You work from home.
That's true.
And no one knows what Madison does.
She only commutes 1 day a week. We do work from home, so I guess we.
Yeah, no one knows what Madison does.
I never
at
know
all.
what
I know that Madison,
doing.
She kinda is bridal.
Oh, not
stuff?
anymore. No,
planning.
Not anymore.
See, I see. No one knows.
Yeah, no, that was her last job.
Dentist.
Yeah, dentist stuff. Yeah.
Does she work for a dentist?
No, marketing firm for dentists.
Really, dentist?
Wait, actually for dentists?
Yeah, it's solely for dentists.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, he's lying.
No, why would I lie about that? It's a marketing firm.
Because Cam pulled that out of his ass, and you're just like, yeah, that's common knowledge. Like,
Yeah,
no,
that's what
none
it
of us
is.
knew, and Cam pulled it out of his ass. Like, that's impressive.
That's.
Did you guys both watch the Boy Meets World episode?
Yeah.
Cool.
It also helped. We watched it actually just when I got back from work. But I remember I went through Boy Meets World like at the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah, I
yeah,
watched
you
Boy
did.
Meets World. I like periodically will just like have it on all the time because I own all the seasons. I have.
That's the first time I've seen it since I was like 8.
Oh yeah, I
so-
bought the DVDs like way back in the day, so I just have like the box set of DVDs. It's so ridiculous.
Oh,
They're like
nice.
4x3, and it's like,
Oh my God. Technology's so crazy. So like there's one quote that they say in the movie that I wanted to remember so I can like use it in the right time in the podcast, and so I always have subtitles on, so I screenshotted the 2 little subtitle blurbs so I can remember it. And it's literally just a black screen with the subtitles because technology is like, you can screenshot it, but you can't actually like see your screenshot because technology.
Yeah, I hate the whole DC. Although the file I gave you was one that was ripped off of the Disney Channel, so I don't know why it would have been.
Oh, I watched it on Disney Plus, dude.
That's right. No. Why did I even give you guys files? If it's on Disney Plus, I totally forgot about.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Pretty sure Disney Plus, bro.
I watched it on the file at work, so that was cool.
So that worked out nicely. Speaking of, have you guys heard of a movie called Dylan Dog Dead of Night?
No.
Okay, so it's a movie with Brandon Routh from like 2013 or something. And I have no idea what it is, but it looks awful. But one of our patrons wants us to watch it, and he sent me the video file, so now we have no excuse.
All right.
So pretty soon we'll be watching Dylan Dog Dead of Night or something like that.
Nice.
So much alliteration.
I know, right? All right, I'm gonna
2 things.
Right.
Yes.
2 things. Should we do the new Borat at some point?
I guess I don't even like Borat, but
okay.
I guess.
And
I
also,
watched it. It was good.
Oh, okay. I'm excited because I love the first one. I overquoted it.
It was really
We
good.
talk about it on like
But also-
Patreon in a week or 2.
2 days into Mandalorian.
Oh, I know. I just watched the last 3 episodes of the season this morning because I wanted to like recap the end. Whew.
I've been doing a recap of the whole series.
Yeah.
Like
That would have been
I'm ready.
smart. But all my time is either at work or at the bar.